What's going on, guys? I'm Landon from Shoewear, and today we're turning back the clock to check out one of the best basketball shoes on the market right now, the Puma Clyde All-Pro Kyle Kuzma. Let's go. All right, so first, thank you guys for stopping by to check us out. Feel free to drop a follow or subscribe wherever you're watching and leave this video a like. We would greatly appreciate that. But now let's go ahead and check out the box and the price for these before we get into the actual review. So as you can see, it's a pretty basic black and white box for Puma. They don't do anything too over the top, so I'm not going to waste too much of your time with that. But as for pricing, these do retail for $130, which in my opinion is an absolute steal for the quality of this shoe, and I'm going to expand on that in just a minute. And it is pretty middle of the pack, $130, not too low, not too high. So that pretty much covers the box and the price though. So let's move on. All right, so before I test these out on the court, let's go ahead and check out the appearance and the design for these first. So like I said in the intro, this is Kyle Kuzma's colorway for the Puma Clyde All-Pro model, and it's really clean. There have been some mixed feelings about the look for this specific model in general, kind of leaving Kyle Kuzma's colorway out of it, but I actually really do like the look of these shoes. Whenever Puma was kind of jumping back into the game for basketball a few years ago, making pushes to sign athletes like Danny Green, DeMarcus Cousins, Michael Porter, DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley III, the list goes on from there. A lot of young guys is kind of mainly the point that I'm trying to make, but they dropped this Puma Clyde court model that you can see here behind me. That's actually the championship colorway from whenever the Raptors won a ring back in 2019. So I don't know why I brought that hurt on myself, since I am a Warriors fan and we lost to them that year, but I just honestly really do like that metallic kind of gold colorway for that shoe. But I definitely ate that model up. I loved it. But now these just destroy that shoe in my opinion. And I am a little partial to low top shoes, so that definitely could be part of it, but I don't know. I just think that Puma did a really solid job on these. And, you know, of course, how much you like a shoe or how much you like a design, it's always going to rely upon each person's own taste. But leaving that aside, let's go ahead and dive into the colorway and the design for these shoes. So these have a gum gray white color scheme with some black overlays on there. Gives these a super clean look, or even a stylish look, because for those of you who don't know Kyle Kuzma, he's definitely not shy about his style, or like his fashion statements, if you want to call it that. He spent last season with like a different hair color or haircut every month, it seemed like. I mean, that doesn't bother me at all. It may have bothered his teammates who were kind of trying to win a championship and ultimately fell short in the first round of the playoffs, but it didn't bother me. But I am noticing I'm kind of starting to sound like a hater in these reviews, so I probably need to chill out. So back to these shoes. I do like the simple Puma branding on the tongue for these. And then on the heel, or I guess a little bit beneath the heel on the back of the shoe, you can see the shoe model name that's kind of stitched in there where it says Clyde on that gum colored portion. I just thought that was a super nice touch. And then something that is specific with this colorway that you're actually not really going to see on most basketball shoes is that they do come with like a black, a white, and like an orangish, goldish kind of lace swap option. I think that's a super cool touch. The orange laces actually match this like portion kind of up near the ankle. So that would kind of bring out that area of the shoe if you went with that lace swap option, which it probably looked pretty nice, but I really did decide to stick with the white just because it's a lot less work for me to not unlace and relace all these just to play in them. But that pretty much hits on the major appearance points for this shoe. Surely you can see how much I really like these by now, but just wait, because it gets even better. Because what's greater than the appearance on these is going to be the performance. So now let's go ahead and test these out on the court. All right, so for the last half of this review, I'll combine the materials, the comfort, the traction, just basically how these do for performance. So I just want to preface this section by saying this is now one of my favorite basketball shoes that I've ever played in. So let's get into it. So now the comfort is kind of an area that Puma has been commonly known to fall short in, especially in the past, but you heard my intro for these, which means some major changes, or rather upgrades, were made to this shoe line. So the first thing they did is they put what they call a P-box drop into the heel of these. And that's just kind of like a little puck back there that they actually haven't done with most of their models. And whenever you're playing ball, you know, not a lot of time is really spent on the heel, on the back part of your foot. So it's not super important, but when you do apply some pressure there, it's still going to be noticeable, and it's always a good piece to have on there just for some added impact protection whenever you're landing from a jump or a shot or a jump shot. But the biggest change in feel from these comes from that Pro Foam Plus midsole. So typically Puma is going to go with a simple Pro Foam cushion, but whatever they did to this shoe definitely deserves the plus for sure, because these feel a lot better to play in. And even with that added comfort, the responsiveness stays there, which is super important. But moving up from the cushioning to the upper, that is a major selling point on these also. Okay, well, every specific part of this shoe could almost sell itself in my opinion, but these feature a Matrix Evo Tech. It actually displays that in text on most shoe models, but like I said, this is like a special Kyle Kuzma inspired colorway, so it just didn't make it onto this shoe in writing specifically, but it did come on the tag whenever I got them. But this upper on these is a beast, man. Like, it's made up of mostly textiles, helping keep these lightweight and breathable, but all the lines you kind of see running across the shoe is actually carbon fiber, and that's what makes these such a durable shoe, because those lines, they actually also do the bulk of the work, kind of keeping your foot from sliding around, or like allowing the material to stretch more than you would want, because carbon, you know, it doesn't really stretch at all. And then this model is like slightly a different makeup just on the upper compared to if it wasn't a Kyle Kuzma design. But really the only place that it differs is like in this toe area with that like gray suede, but I actually really like that. So, and then finishing off with the traction on these, it's honestly amazing. So you can kind of see in the forefoot how they have these like square patches, which some of the lines are flowing horizontally, and then some of them are flowing vertical. So that's just going to give you great multi-directional coverage, and you'll notice a pivot point kind of mixed in to the front half of that shoe. And honestly, that should look pretty familiar because it's used on one of the most popular shoes of all time, the Nike Air Force One. But as it relates to basketball, that piece is just going to allow you, or more so aid you, in being able to spin 360 degrees on the court without moving your foot or taking it off the ground. Because although they don't really call travels in the NBA, most NBA players probably aren't watching this review. So I know from prior experience that, you know, in college, high school, younger referees, just people like that, they love to call travels. But, you know, as for the materials down there, the entire outsole is made up of Puma's high abrasion sticky outsole, which is just kind of a fancy way to say that these materials are they will hold up super well under scraping, sliding, grinding, different motions like that, which is ultimately going to make this an extremely durable shoe for both indoors and outdoors. As you can see, I tested them out outdoors for you. And then as for sizing, I did go true to size as always, and that is actually what I would recommend on these. There isn't a ton of stretchiness, like I said, so if you do have some wider feet, you may want to explore going a half size up. So to wrap it up though, although some people don't really like this model, I love the look for these. But even if you don't like the look, these are worth it just based off of the materials and kind of the performance aspect alone. So overall, this shoe is absolute money. All right, so that pretty much wraps up our unboxing and performance review on the Puma Clyde All-Pro Kyle Kuzma. Thank you guys for taking some time to watch. If you made it this far, drop your favorite pudding in the comment below. Mine is banana easily. I don't know why I'm asking, but I just want to know. So if you're interested in purchasing these shoes though, just check out the link in the description below. Also, be sure to click the link in our bio, and from there you can find our shoes that are available for sale on our website. And then you can also head over to our social media just to kind of stay informed on upcoming sneaker releases. And then last, just feel free to comment below if you like this review or just any other shoes you may want us to check out. But until next review, I'm Landon from Shoewear. Peace.